Perfect. Hello, everyone, or terve kaikille, as we say in Finland. My name is Mamedi, CEO and co-founder of Truecaller. Today, I'm going to talk a bit about how to build apps for the fast-growing markets. But before that, I'm just going to give you a short intro about Truecaller, what it is, what kind of problems are we solving around the world. So basically, Truecaller is replacing your phone book by creating smart services around it to help your daily life in the communication to become much easier. And we do this by organizing all the phone numbers in the world and adding relevant context to it. That could be names, pictures, social network IDs, or even how you're connected to this phone number, thanks to our social graph that we're generating. We started the company in 2009, so it's been 5 years now. During the past 12 to 18 months, we've had a tremendous growth, amazing investors on board, and so forth. We have over 85 million users using our service. We're adding more than 250,000 new users every day. The funny thing is, yesterday we hit a new record. We added over 350,000 new users in 24 hours. Pretty crazy. And our users are super engaged. They make more than 1.5 billion searches in Truecaller every month, looking for people or companies by name and numbers and so forth. And you might ask, where is this growth coming from? And I really love this slide. It's the world, of course. But as an entrepreneur, you usually think, I want to go west. I want to go to the US, and I want to go to the western part of Europe. These figures are pretty good. I mean, 163 million smartphone users by the end of the year in the US, 197 in the western part of Europe. But we tend to forget the other parts of the world. India, 270 million by the end of this year. The MENA region, 122. Look at China, 522 million smartphone users by the end of this year. And I'm going to quote one of our investors, Niklas Sennström, who said, the good thing with the emerging markets is that they keep emerging. Next year, by the end of 2015, these figures will be totally different. But in the Western world, yeah, they will grow a bit. But you will never see the same growth that you're seeing in these markets, which is more fun, right? You want to see the crazy growth coming from all over the world. And I want to talk about some of the key learnings that we learned during our journey. And the first one is the definition of free. What is free? When I look at this one, this is pretty funny. All of these apps are free. But our users in India, for example, they don't see it this way. They look at the app size. And what they really see is, Truecaller cost me 4 euro cents. LinkedIn costs me 6 times more. Imagine if your smartphone is your only device that connects you with the internet. Then you're the data consumption is everything for you, and it costs money. That's why they put money into the free. So you really have to think of, does this really make sense for the end user? 60 megs for an app? Can we compress it in some way? And it's pretty funny because most of these companies, on a weekly basis, they send out updates, bug fixes, whatever. But for a user in these fast-growing markets, it's actually, they think, should I update this to the latest version? It will cost me, I don't know, 30 euro cents for bug fixes? No, it's not worth it. You really need to bring value on every single update that you do. And that's how it works. It's hard to understand. It's hard to put yourself in that position. But once you actually fly over to one of these markets, you realize how amazing it is in that sense. Let's see if this one works. The next learning is, for us, we're working with something called OKRs, Objective and Key Results. One of our OKRs is to become the bottom 4 apps, the app that people use every single day. And before even having that as an OKR, which is great, you have to think again. What is it really that you're struggling with on these markets? The first thing is to survive the first 24 hours on their phone. This is a very popular smartphone in some of the emerging markets called Samsung Galaxy Young. This is a real screenshot I took yesterday. So I have Dropbox and Truecaller installed on this device. I have 40 megabytes free on this phone. When I installed Facebook, I ran out of disk space. Everything started to force close, like crash. I couldn't receive any phone calls. I couldn't receive any messages. That's the reality. And think that WhatsApp takes like 38 megabytes. Do you really think the user will uninstall WhatsApp to install your app? I don't think so, unless it really brings value to the end consumer. It's something they use on a daily basis. Otherwise, they uninstall it. They install it later on when they need it, if they need it. So this is what you're fighting against, the disk space. We don't have that problem here, right? We all sit with our Galaxy S5s and iPhone 6, whatever. It just works. Everything is so smooth. But they want to have the great experience as we want to have, but on these devices. What we usually do, we try to find all the different Amazon versions around the world. This is Flipkart, one of the biggest e-commerce sites in India. They're selling millions and millions of phones every single day. This is a screenshot from their best-selling devices. Carbon. I don't think many of you have heard about Carbon in the past. Micromax. These are the devices that people are using in the fast-growing markets. 3,700 rupees. That's 36 euros for a phone, a really good phone, running the latest version of Android. These devices have not so much disk space, even less for apps. So you have to understand the reality, and that's been something we've been working really hard with, living with these devices every single day in order to give our users a great experience. Of course, the obvious one, which is localization. You need to translate your app into different languages and so forth. But there's another side of it, which you only learn once you actually start localizing your app. First one is, if you look at this pie graph of our distribution, 19% of our users are having Truecaller on a different language than English. On the other side, most of them are not natively English-speaking people. But 19% doesn't sound that much. But if we put it in the Truecaller perspective, it's actually 50,000 new users every day that installs Truecaller in another language. I don't want to throw them away. I don't think anyone in here would. But what you really need to understand is that once you start translating to a certain language, you have to think about the other languages in the surrounding countries. I will give you an example. A few weeks ago, we sent out an update on our Android client. We accidentally removed Arabic. The first 24 hours, we were getting thousands of bad reviews from users. This guy, Said, he was offended that we supported Hebrew and not Arabic. And we get thousands of reviews like this. I wouldn't care if Instagram was translated into Finnish and not Swedish. As long as it's English, I'm fine. But you have to understand the cultural differences around the world. And it's amazing to realize that we're all different. And your app needs to be different as well for everyone. The final one, the final thing I want to share with you is our ambassador program. This photo was taken a few months ago in Jordan at the university. Even though we raised a lot of money, we started our ambassador program way before this. We have 30 different ambassadors around the world. One of our ambassadors in Jordan, he said, I want to have a hackathon at the university. And we love those kind of things. So we said, let's do it. We gave him some API access and let the students develop their stuff. And we made these T-shirts for all of them. Didn't cost us more than 1,000 euros. And we got people to engage with our brand. And these people really love to do this kind of things. Because they will be the next generation of bringing the technology forward. And they want to be a part of it. They want to make sure that they are in this space and that they keep developing. And we at Truecaller, we want to have this diversity of people from different parts of the world using our product, people from different parts of the world at the office and so forth. And we keep doing this. We have ambassadors in, I think it's 15 different countries, and we keep growing those. And it doesn't cost much, but you keep people engaged, and you get to know so much more about your product, the way people use it, and so forth. Most of these key learnings are actually coming from our ambassadors. Having that said, I want to thank you all for listening. And if you have any questions, feel free to grab me or send me an email, alan@truecaller.com. Thank you very much.